tampers, and sifters. Grabbing her tablet, Josie leaned on the counter and tapped in a search.
And chinois, she said, is a French word meaning Chinese, describing a conical sieve used to strain custards and sauces. And a zaru, which is a bamboo draining basket.
Eyes wide, Jaymie exchanged a look with her husband. Learning cooking facts from a 10-year-old?
"Don't look at me," he said with a chuckle. "She's your daughter."
She laughed out loud, getting his illusion. Josie had become as addicted to research and learning as Jaymie was. She may not be Jamie's biological daughter, but she was absorbing her influence, hopefully only in good ways. Jaymie took up her cell phone, found a certain song on a 70s playlist, and using her spatula as a microphone, struck a pose and sang, when they got to the chorus, "Sieve and Let Die," to Paul McCartney and Wings' Bond theme. Josie dissolved in giggles. Sunday silliness was a tradition, too. Jaymie scanned the gathering along the road on Monday, faces golden in the slanting rays of the sun. They had come together to plan the public nature trail through the woods across from the Müllers' cabin to honor Alicia Vance, whose life had ended tragically weeks before in this forest she had liked to roam. Bram Brower had suggested to Jaymie the public would be more invested if they had a say in how the trails wended their way through. Gathered were Alicia's sister Erin, her mother Kim, and her daughter Mia, as well as a dozen or more other people. They had gotten a good turnout. Walking together would, she hoped, bring people of diverse backgrounds together to walk for fitness and nature study, art, photography, and botany. Josie stood, arms linked, with Mia, Alicia's daughter, two tiny girls solemnly separate from the adults. Jaymie had worried it might be too much for Mia, but Kim, her grandmother, said the girl wanted to be a part of it. A car pulled into the Müller driveway across the road. Becca, Jaymie's sister, climbed out of the driver's seat and walked toward them, joined by her husband Kevin, who carried a walking stick and had a fancy camera slung around his neck. They crossed the road, Becca zipping her cable-knit cardigan. "Glad you could make it," Jaymie said with a smile.
"Where's Jacob?"
Kevin asked.
Gus is moving in a few days and needed a hand with some stuff.
Gus was Jacob's business partner in the junk store. The junk stops here. One of the next tasks was to install a culvert in the roadside gully, then create a footpath over it to make access to the woodland trail easier. The son of the landowners would work on that alone before the ground froze in winter. Today, the trail volunteers clambered down into the roadside gully, up the other side, and pushed open the basic gate Bram had installed in the fence for roadside egress. Bram Brower and his son, Luke, a school friend of the girls, knew the woods intimately. Luke, a sturdy, quiet lad, would lead Josie and Mia, while Jaymie, who also knew the woods from her own walks with Hoppy and Josie, divided the others into teams and gave each leader a hammer and a bundle of fluorescent yellow-tipped sticks from the stash Bram had left by the fence. Each team was to find a way, the path of least resistance, Jaymie told them, but not a straight line, through the woods to the center, which had been boldly marked and would someday have a clearing and a memorial bench for walkers to enjoy. Along the way, they were to pound the stakes into the damp ground, so Bram could begin the arduous task of clearing paths for the Alicia Vance Memorial Trail. Jaymie had originally placed Becca on a team with her husband, but her big sister, bossy by nature, had stoutly insisted on joining Jaymie's group with Valletta. Kim and Erin wanted to join Mia and Josie. It ended up that not everyone joined the team they preferred. Jaymie, not bossy by nature like Becca, shrugged as Kevin joined his wife. "Organized chaos, here we come," she thought. Bram, as the most knowledgeable, would be the ultimate arbiter of the path directions, but it was a